Salam alaikum, salam. Hi everybody, this is Mitra Jalali. I am really proud to be a part of the Paya network. I want to say thank you to Paya for all that they're doing right now to keep our community connected. Just an incredibly painful time for our country and our people, both living in the United States and back in Iran. So I am a St. Paul City Councilwoman. I serve Ward 4 out of 7 wards in the capital city of Minnesota, and we've been working around the clock in the last it feels like months, but it's really been just a couple of months and several weeks since we all joined the new normal. But I am proud to be part of a network of Iranian American elected leaders working to keep people in their homes during this time, to save our small businesses and keep our small businesses and neighborhood businesses afloat. We're working as a city to give direct grant assistance to our constituents that are not reached necessarily by the federal stimulus check that was put together, and also to provide really direct business assistance to some of our smallest, most long-standing, and also really vulnerable neighborhood ethnic businesses that just don't have the infrastructure to access federal resources like the Paycheck Protection Program, which, as I'm sure you've seen by now in the news, was notoriously structured to actually functionally exclude lots of neighborhood businesses and prioritize larger companies. So I've been trying to think about this as a massive economic and social intervention to keep our community afloat during this time. And another piece to this is just getting to communicate with and talk to our Iranian American community here in Minnesota. We have, last time I checked, the 5th largest population of Khariji nationwide. So we have had a really long-running community here, and I was raised by our community. I am a part of our community, and I now find myself in a position to help connect our community members to support efforts that are happening. A lot of people in our community have access to the medical supply chain. A lot of people in our community have connections, businesses here and overseas that help do things like find shortages for masks and PPE and really critical medical equipment. And through our networks here, just organically, my office was able to work with our Iranian American community and some community members to literally help distribute thousands of surgical and special protective masks to hospitals in downtown St. Paul that have become the local front line for COVID response. So it's a very difficult time, and it's also really showing, I think, the best of us, and it lays bare the worst of the world that we've built. But this is an opportunity, I think, to really organize our community in support of our fellow countrymen and people and communities that we love. It's a time to talk about not only anti-Asian racism, which I feel on a personal level as a person whose mother is Korean, but also to connect our causes to other people's movements and to really show how in working class communities of color, not just in our urban centers, but often in rural communities where the healthcare system and the infrastructure is extremely abysmal, we are seeing who is really hurt the most by the virus. And we need to hold those truths up in a time where there couldn't be more dishonesty from the federal government about how we got here. And so I'm proud to stand with you. I'm grateful for everything that you're doing. I would really urge you to pay attention to your mental health during this time. I think that it is hard to talk about trauma and depression and anxiety and things that are really natural responses to quarantine and to stress and to just feelings of powerlessness that we can often feel seeing what's happening in Iran and how sanctions have exacerbated the response. And there are things that have been very devastating just on a personal level for me to witness as a result of this pandemic. And I think it's important to take care of your head and your heart and your mind as much as we are guarding our bodies and guarding our loved ones against the virus. So I am simply taking a moment today to connect with all of you. I feel a responsibility bigger than just the area of St. Paul that I represent, but to our community, our whole community, as we are building out a movement for change within our community story. So I'm really proud to be a part of that. I hope to stay connected to you. Find me on Twitter at Mitra Jalali. June is my mom's maiden name. That's the Korean. and you know the Jalali, Mitra June Jalali at twitter.com. On twitter.com. And I'm around. I want to stay connected to you. We're all online more than ever, so I would love to hear from you, and just know that you're not alone. Thank you so much. Bye.